If you're still buying new flowers every single spring, I need to stop you right there, because you might be wasting money on something your garden could be doing for free. Here's the truth nobody tells beginner gardeners. Some flowers don't need to be replanted. Ever. They drop their own seeds at the end of the season, and next year, they come back on their own. No trip to the garden center. No digging. No spending $40 on flats of annuals every May. And the best part? This works even in containers. You don't need a big backyard or raised beds. A few pots on your porch, balcony, or patio is all it takes. Today, I'm showing you 8 self-seeding flowers that will fill your containers with fresh blooms year after year, completely on their own. If you've ever felt like gardening is too much work, this video is going to change how you think about it. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which 8 flowers to plant this season so that next year and the year after that, your containers fill themselves with color without you lifting a trowel. I'll walk you through each plant, how to set up your containers so the seeds actually take, and the one thing most people do by accident that stops self-seeding before it even starts. You'll also get a simple month-by-month rhythm so you always know what to expect and when. This isn't about working harder in the garden. It's about setting things up once, the right way, so nature does the repeat work for you. If you've ever felt discouraged buying the same flowers every spring, only to watch them fade by August and disappear completely by fall, you're not alone. Most people assume that's just how gardening works. Plant, enjoy, replace, repeat. But here at Stress-Free Garden Living, we believe gardening should get easier every year, not harder. The secret isn't more effort. It's choosing the right plants and letting them do what they're naturally built to do. Self-seeding flowers are one of the simplest shortcuts in all of gardening. Once you understand how they work, you'll wonder why you ever spent money replanting the same containers every single spring. Before we get into the 8 plants, I want to tell you about one small mistake that stops self-seeding completely, and almost every beginner makes it without realizing. It happens in the fall, and it looks like good, tidy gardening. I'll explain exactly what it is a little later, because once you know it, you'll never make it again. Let's keep this simple. A self-seeding plant is exactly what it sounds like. At the end of its bloom season, it produces seeds, drops them into the soil around it, and then, when conditions are right the following year, those seeds sprout on their own. You don't buy new plants. You don't start seeds indoors. You don't do anything, really. The flower handles its own reproduction, and your job is just to let it happen. This is different from perennials, which regrow from the same root system every year. Self-seeders are usually annuals, meaning the original plant dies each winter, but its seeds carry the next generation forward. It feels like magic, but it's really just biology working in your favor. Here's something important. Self-seeding works a little differently in pots than it does in the ground. In a garden bed, seeds can scatter widely and settle into all kinds of soil pockets. In a container, everything is more contained, which is actually good news, but it also means a few small details matter more. First, drainage. Containers need good drainage holes, because seeds sitting in soggy soil will rot instead of sprout. Second, soil depth. Deeper containers hold moisture more evenly, which gives seeds a better chance to germinate without drying out. And third, this one surprises people. Most self-seeding flowers need their seeds to sit right on top of the soil, or just barely under it. They actually need a little bit of light to trigger germination. If you bury them too deep or smother them with mulch, they simply won't sprout. Keep that in mind, because it becomes very important later in this video. Now that you understand the basics, let's get into the 8 flowers themselves. I've picked these specifically because they're reliable, beginner-friendly, and proven to self-seed well in pots. Stick around, because after we go through all 8, I'll show you the exact technique for making sure they come back every single year, and the mistake that ruins it for most people. The 8 self-seeders for containers. 1. Calendula, also called pot marigold, is one of the easiest flowers to grow and one of the most forgiving for beginners. It loves full sun and does well in a container at least 8 inches deep. You'll get warm orange and yellow blooms from late spring through fall. It self-seeds so reliably because its seed pods curl up like little crescents and drop seeds directly into the surrounding soil once they dry out. Picture a pot bursting with sunny orange flowers, coming back on its own, season after season, with almost no effort from you. Simple action step. Let the last flush of blooms dry completely on the plant instead of deadheading them. 2. Cosmos gives you tall, airy blooms in pink, white, and deep red, and it thrives in full sun with a container around 10 inches deep. Its seeds are shaped like thin little sticks, and once the flower head dries out, it releases them easily onto the soil surface below. Imagine your patio filled with delicate, wispy blooms swaying in the breeze, without you ever buying a single seed packet again. Simple action step. Leave the spent flower heads standing through early fall instead of trimming them back. 3. Nigella, love in a mist, is one of the most charming flowers you can grow, with soft blue or white blooms surrounded by delicate, lace-like foliage. It prefers full sun to light shade and does beautifully in a medium-depth container. What makes it such a strong self-seeder is its papery seed pod, which naturally splits open and scatters tiny black seeds nearby. Picture soft blue flowers popping up in unexpected spots in your container each spring, almost like a pleasant surprise. Simple action step. Leave a few of those dried, balloon-like seed pods in place at the end of the season. 4. California poppies bring bright orange and gold blooms and thrive in full sun with well-drained soil, even in a shallow container. Their seed pods are long, narrow, and split open suddenly when ripe, flinging seeds a short distance away. This is why you'll often notice new poppies popping up slightly off from where the original plant grew. Picture a container glowing with cheerful orange flowers that seem to multiply naturally each year. Simple action step. Avoid rich, heavily fertilized soil, since poppies actually self-seed best in leaner soil. 5. Sweet alyssum is low-growing, fragrant, and perfect for spilling over the edges of a container. It handles full sun to partial shade and doesn't need much depth at all. Its tiny seed pods dry out quickly and drop seeds directly below the plant, which is why alyssum often creates a soft, self-renewing carpet of white or purple blooms. Picture a container with delicate flowers cascading over the sides, filling in gaps on their own every season. Simple action step. Let at least one section of the plant go completely to seed instead of trimming the whole thing back. 6. Larkspur produces tall spikes of blue, purple, or pink blooms and prefers full sun with a deeper container to support its height. Its seeds actually benefit from a cold period over winter called cold stratification, which helps trigger stronger germination in spring. This is nature's way of timing the bloom perfectly for the following season. Picture elegant, colorful spikes rising from your container, completely on their own, every single year. Simple action step. Leave your container outside through winter instead of moving it indoors, so the seeds get the cold exposure they need. 7. Cleome, spider flower, is a dramatic, tall-growing flower with spiky pink, white, or purple blooms that attract pollinators all summer long. It loves full sun and a deep, sturdy container. Its seed pods are long and slender, and they split open on their own, dropping seeds close to the base of the plant. Picture a bold, eye-catching flower returning to your container year after year, almost like it never left. Simple action step. Resist the urge to cut the plant down completely at the end of the season. Let the pods finish drying first. 8. Nasturtium is a favorite for containers because it's fast-growing, colorful, and even edible. It handles full sun to partial shade well and doesn't need a deep pot. Its seeds are large and round, almost like little peas, and they drop easily to the soil surface once mature. This makes nasturtium one of the most reliable, no-fuss self-seeders on this list. Picture bright red, orange, and yellow blooms trailing over your container edges, coming back with almost zero effort. Simple action step. Let a few of the round seed pods dry and drop naturally instead of deadheading every faded bloom. Now let's talk about that mistake I mentioned earlier, because this is the one that quietly ruins self-seeding for most beginners. At the end of the season, it's tempting to tidy everything up. You deadhead every faded bloom, cut the plants down, and clear out the container so it looks neat for winter. It feels like good gardening, but it's actually the opposite of what these plants need. When you deadhead everything, you're removing the seed heads before they've had a chance to dry out and drop their seeds. When you clear out the container completely, you're removing the very seeds that were meant to overwinter in that soil. And when you top dress with fresh mulch or new potting soil in spring, you can accidentally bury the seeds too deep for them to sprout. The fix is simple. In the final weeks of the season, let the plants finish their natural cycle. Leave the spent blooms in place. Skip the deep clean. And in spring, resist the urge to refresh the soil until you've seen what comes up on its own. Here's the tip that ties everything together, and it's the one most people never think about. Self-seeding isn't just about what you leave behind in fall. It's also about protecting the soil surface itself. Remember how I mentioned earlier that most of these seeds need a little light to germinate? That means the top layer of your container soil is precious. Don't disturb it in early spring by digging around, fluffing the soil, or adding a fresh layer on top. Instead, simply water gently and wait. Around early to mid-spring, depending on your climate, you'll start to notice tiny seedlings appearing in clusters. That's your sign it's working. At that point, you can gently thin out the crowded spots, giving the strongest seedlings room to grow, and transplant a few extras into other containers if you'd like to expand your collection for free. This single habit, leaving the soil surface undisturbed, is often the difference between a container that self-seeds beautifully and one that mysteriously stops working after the first year. In late summer, stop deadheading and let blooms dry naturally. In fall, skip the cleanup and leave seed heads and pods in place. In late winter, avoid disturbing the soil surface. In early to mid-spring, watch for seedlings and thin them out once they're a couple of inches tall. Gardening doesn't have to mean starting from scratch every single year. These 8 self-seeders, calendula, cosmos, nigella, California poppy, sweet alyssum, larkspur, cleome, and nasturtium, prove that a little patience and a few small habit changes can turn your containers into a self-sustaining source of color year after year. You're not doing less because you're lazy. You're doing less because you're gardening smarter. That's what stress-free gardening is really about, working with nature instead of against it, so your outdoor space rewards you with less effort every single season. If this video saved you from buying flowers you didn't need this spring, do me a favor and hit subscribe. Every week, we share simple, low-effort gardening tips designed to help you grow more with less stress, whether you have a huge backyard or just a few pots on a balcony. I'd love to know, which of these 8 self-seeders are you most excited to try first? And if you've grown any of them before, drop a comment and let me know how they did in your containers. Your experience might help someone else watching right now. Thanks for spending this time with me today, and I'll see you in the next video.